Yo, is that the glass camera?
Yeah, we got glass camera packed up. Sister and Jason got the rest of them up.
Oh,
so.
cool. Right on. So how much more packing do you have left?
Just got this tripod and the camera. We're good to go.
Right on. So a few of us were thinking of kicking it for a sec before we head out to the big show. So you interested in coming with?
Yeah, I gotta finish this stuff and get it packed up because we're leaving tomorrow, so.
Okay, well, if you change your mind, we're going to be down at Rickenbacker, so come on by.
Oh, wait, you're drinking?
What else will we do when we meet up?
It's true. All right.
You coming?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Oh, just a second. Okay.
Why didn't he say with you drinking? Microsoft's press conference is the first one, and as usual, they're the leakiest company. First of all, the Waggle controller. I mean, people have been talking about that for like a year, and there's been so much stuff. Like, does anyone think we're not going to see that there?
I think that Rare might have been making it, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do with FIFA, and maybe not Banjo either.
Well, now people are saying that Rare is making a party game. There's even like, people say it's called the Fast and the Furriest, and it's all the different...
for Live Arcade, right.
Right, but they say that's going to use this controller.
Yeah, probably, and it'll probably be used to navigate the new dashboard. That seemed reasonable.
Right, or in the Lips game, that like karaoke game, that conceivably will use this microphone enabled white waggle wand.
It seems like they wouldn't put out the controller with that without a big game to attach it to, like a Wii Fit clone or like something like that.
You don't think Lips would be enough, like with the
controller?
with the popularity of like the music rhythm games? And,
no, because that's more about the microphone functionality.
So you say it's not what the 360 consumer wants, but then if there's a Bungie game, that's more than enough for them.
Well, yeah. So what do we know about the Bungie game?
Well, it's from Bungie. That's what the 360 consumer wants, is another Bungie game.
It's going to be a Halo follow-up, not necessarily with Master Chief. And they've been working on it for a long time, longer than people think, and it's going to hit earlier than people think. They started teasing with the vid doc last week, and they also teased in their podcast. They're going to be announcing something like definitely on
at the working with Peter Jackson thing.
I think that's separate because that's Microsoft. I mean, Frank O'Connor's left Bungie. He's working on that with Microsoft. It's not Bungie.
So do you think it's possible we'll see 3 Halo games? Halo Wars, Peter Jackson Halo Chronicles, and the new non-Master Chief Halo game from Bungie?
I think it's completely possible, yeah.
That'd be pretty huge.
Maybe that's why they've been doing a big media push on Gears 2 before E3.
Yeah, I mean, is that much more that they could show up Gears to get people excited? I mean,
because they still haven't talked about co-op and how that's going to work, and what other new modes they might have.
Right.
So
And it seems to me they've showed a whole level in game. It's like I don't know what else they could really blow people away with.
Gotta get closer.
We already know about the 60 gig Xbox 360 coming out, and that they're going to sell a separate hard drive for people who have arcades to upgrade. So I think a part of the message is going to be moving the consumers to the next level, upgrading your experience, buying this new controller, bringing in new people. If we all believe that the new casual direction for Microsoft is real, how do you think the reaction is going to be to that stuff?
It can't be a direction for the company because their biggest games right now are like Gears 2, Halo Wars. These are not casual games.
But Microsoft as a company would be foolish if they didn't try to jump on the casual bandwagon and expand the audience. They have to be trying to do that some way. Whether or not they will do it successfully or with
absolutely are, but that's not going to be their whole thing. That'll be a little segment
Unlike
of their
Nintendo, they're not going to suddenly desert all their actual...
Microsoft is very completist. They try to do everything often to their own detriment. So I think that we'll see some attempt at appealing to the casual market, the moms and the kids, but Whether or not it'll be stylish and cool the way Nintendo always manages to do it is a big question.
Last year they showed more footage of B-Movie and Viva Pinata for games for Windows than they did Crysis. So
maybe avatars, maybe lips, maybe all this stuff is PC and 360, and it's like a broader Microsoft initiative that we've even thought about. I know a lot of people are like, where is games for Windows? So like, do you think Microsoft's going to have anything at their press conference for Windows?
well, they already had the Games for Windows event like a few weeks ago, and
But there was nothing new,
the
right?
majority of those games were just ports. You know, I mean, there were two games that weren't, and the other 6 were. So I mean, I really don't know. I have no idea.
So what happened to Alan Wake? We haven't seen Alan Wake in 2 years. If it's not at E3, heads will roll.
Place some bets. I don't think it's going to be
You don't
there.
think so?
PC gamers want to hear about that as well.
Like, you think they're gonna spend time marketing to Human instead of Alan Wake, or like?
You know why? Because Human's coming out soon. Like since last year. Like their E3 press conference was about last year. This year, presumably, will be about this year.
Well, I think there will be some small surprises that make people happy, like Geometry Wars 2. We've known that it's like a long time coming. Please finally show it
the
to us.
achievements are out there, right? I mean,
so
it
we know that's going to be there.
will likely come out the day of the conference.
The other thing you've heard rumored that I think is going to be there is Microsoft exclusive new XCOM game. Not published by Microsoft, but I mean, this is a really pivotal E3 for them because they need to convince everyone that 360 is still viable for like 2 more years. Like, pretend like they're not working on a new system, even though we all know they are. You know, prove it to the hardcore. We have games for you and all these new games for casuals. It's like giving you 2 different roads that they could succeed down. So I think it's what they have to do.
Stalker was a good game, but I felt like the beginning of it was like, it was almost like
It was harsh.
It was harsh.
Working around, you know, THQ had certain expectations for like a worldwide market. You had
Yeah.
to make the game accessible to an extent, and they really didn't care about doing it.
No, that they fought against it. It makes it feel, as you and I have talked about this in the past, it makes it feel less produced than any games that come out of the typical American or, most European publishers.
It's got the mentality of an indie game designer, but with like a game that's as visually arresting as anything out there. And I mean,
Clear Sky, the prequel to Stalker, is much better looking than the last game. I mean, the last game was great.
Well, yeah, it's got all those DirectX bells and whistles, DirectX 10 bells and whistles, and even that first like 25 minutes or whatever that we saw, though the way that the sky changes gradually from late evening to night and back into day again, and you don't really even notice it unless you're looking for it, just like in real life, you don't really pay attention to every single minor change in the sun. It's just suddenly daylight.
I mean, I could see. I know you've looked at the Tarkovsky, you've watched the Tarkovsky movie called Stalker that this is like based on, along with the fiction. And they really, I swear that they try to capture the sense of lighting in certain scenes as well.
I can believe that.
But visually, what I also appreciate about it is that, I mean, there's so few engines that are being used right now for AAA game development, but it's nice to see something else. In the same way that I like looking at Crysis, that it used a whole other engine, because after a while, there's just an unmistakable fingerprint for Unreal Engine 3, and it's not bad at all, but it's like, it's nice to see something else where it's a little, they underplay a lot of the normal mapping and effects. They'll say, this is a surface that we really want to draw attention to, let's put it on this, but let's not have wood look like it was shit out by the Vaseline monster or something.
There's like this new bog area in this game, which is, I guess, so they claim, bigger than anything that was in Stalker, bigger than any area in Stalker 1. And it's going to be just a free space where you can run around and look for new missions and kind of stumble upon new missions and have them fed to you when you get there, so you don't end up in some place where there's going to be a mission but you haven't got it yet, so you have to like run back and get it later or anything like that.
The design of that bog is interesting too, because when you're actually in it, you have no sense of the lay of the land. Once in a while you'll climb up a tower or something and you get to like take a look at it and see. You got to commit that to memory and then go back. But that means that you can hear something in a bush right next to you, and since you can't really get to any It's like it's just flat. You can't get the high ground and see, oh, there's a boar eating something in there.
Right.
You've got to like push through the bushes and get in there yourself. I mean, there's the whole sense of that game as well. It's like you just don't know what comes next. I mean, that goes into the principle with when you're looking for anomalies and stuff. You have these bolts, and there are these. I mean, I don't even know. There's supernatural, paranormal things that you'll find. You'll discover
the kind
your
of
location.
stuff that happens after any run-of-the-mill nuclear explosion.
Yeah, sure. And so it's like, but you don't know. I mean, you get a sense where they're at in the same way that you get a sense that maybe there's like some monster boar in the shrubs or something. But it's always like something can pop out at any time. It's this really sense of kind of like dread almost, but just caution as you move forward. What am I going to find next? I like that about the game. I mean,
definitely. Well, and the really cool thing is it is not just the monsters, the mutants that can happen. Is the way that they described it to us is that there's various factions that are constantly at war with each other, and they have kind of their own Sims-like needs-based system in that they want to take over this territory because they need it for this particular resource or to go after this artifact, and they're constantly vying for territory. And you can apparently run across any of these AIs going at any of these like AI squads going at each other at any time too.
Come on, yo.
The enemy never sleeps. Get ready.
Take this, you Nazi!
That dynamism plays like into the AI stuff, just like you're saying. So if you come across people in a firefight, you don't know immediately whether or not they're antagonists, whether they're friends or foes. If there's a couple groups fighting, you kind of get to observe a bit before you jump in. So it'll be interesting to see, because I mean, we haven't played it yet. We really don't know the extent. Maybe it turns out that it's just really shallow. Kind of like in Metal Gear Solid 4, where they're saying, you can help. Originally, when it was presented to me, it was like you can help
the PMCs.
The PMCs are the rebels, but it's really just this. You help the rebels, and you have no reason not to help them. But if this is actually really fleshed out, where you can choose who to align yourself with.
Or even more exciting if you could choose to not align with anyone, and that makes the game harder if you sneak through alone as a lone wolf. That could be cool too.
Well, and that was one of the things that was described to us is that he said, you are a pure mercenary. You're not specifically aligned with any one group. So even if you've been fighting with one group this entire time, you can go and take jobs with this other group, no questions asked.
I don't imagine you could, because I mean, there are clearly going to be situations when they're out doing things and there are people fighting, and they're not both going to be fighting with you to kill each other. Right. Plus the fact too is when you look at those screens in the video we've got, they show all these gauges for the how tight you are with these different factions. And there has to be, since there is some granularity between just how close you are to them, it has to be reflected in the gameplay rather than just they'll all give you missions and stuff.
Yeah.
One way this game, based on the preview video, isn't all roses, is that music.
I know.
I hope that's an option where you can switch it off. How absolutely atmospheric everything's. Right. I've never been to Pripyat marshes or whatever. That this makes me feel like it.
It immediately jumps you right out of it.
And then it's okay, so you did all this work with these graphics to put me in here, and then all of a sudden it's na na ooh na 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 ooh na na. No.
I can't help but think of Grand Theft Auto 4, which has hardly, I think, no music that ever plays that's not environmentally sourced.
Right.
If there's a song playing, there's a radio sitting on a counter that's playing.
BioShock as well. A lot of games.
Guys, it ain't time to relax yet. A million thanks. Next time you're in our neck of the woods, drop by our base for a reward.
I've never gotten into those Diablo-style games, but in Stalker, I did really enjoy the loot gathering, and I like the Diablo-esque, character menu where you slap. That part of that mechanic is great, and it's cool to see it in a different genre of game. It's not just about you hit this guy and then 12 pieces of loot pop out and you go grab them. It's this guy was holding this thing and now I've got it. It all plays back into the environment and the world in a much more fulfilling way and appeals to me more.
Like what you're saying, I imagine a scenario where you walk up and you see a group of stalkers or something, and you actually decide whether or not you want to fight them based on what they're holding.
Absolutely.
That guy's got some kind of Gauss rifle or something. I'm definitely gonna hang out and start something with them.
You're right on time, bro. I'm real low on ammo, so let's make the best of it together.
месте их отстреляем.
Attention all fighters. Enemy mission is approaching. Get to cover now.
The last element about the game that remains unseen for me is just like the dungeon stuff.
Yeah,
We don't know like, what they're going to do, but those worked so well, I think, in the original game because now and then...
different tone like, in those sections.
And when you'd end up in one, you'd kind of be like, am I ready to go down here now? Like, I know if I go down this manhole, it's this whole other section, and it's going to be like crazy poltergeist activity and just like creepy-ass stuff, people banging on doors, and like, that was always like, I'd have to psych myself up, like, after a while, like, am I ready for this part yet? Like, I'm just gonna go around and do some top missions.
And that underground shit was a lot more scary than like Fear ever was.
Yeah, it totally was.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I think there's like huge potential with. I mean, that's something you can get with like that kind of like visual fidelity with that atmosphere and stuff.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
I mean, if they really like play into that for the scares, that could be good.
Like Nintendo, they could do anything they wanted. They could get up there and just show Animal Crossing, and that's the only game they show, and it wouldn't affect them one way or the other.
So are they going to show Animal Crossing?
Alice will be jumping up and down.
They better.
Yes, they're showing Animal Crossing. If Animal Crossing is not online, like really online, if I can't go to your town, if I can't send you a message, I call bullshit on the whole thing. Like we've really given Nintendo a lot of an easy time with online. But this is a game, it's all about communication, it's all about trading and sharing, and this is the time they need to man up and make it actually online.
Pikmin 3, I want.
Do you think Pikmin 3 is like a home run?
No, I don't think so. It's just like the only franchise that there's left that doesn't have a Wii sequel that I'm mildly interested in.
I mean, I would love to see the thing that I'm just not sure that Nintendo will do anymore, which is a totally new IP, totally new game like Pikmin, done with Miyamoto's help that is completely new, totally different.
And he isn't brain age or Nintendogs or any of that.
I don't think we're really going to see it. I think the big surprise from Nintendo is going to be Nintendo's first-party WiiWare games, because we've never really seen them. We've heard rumblings that like, hey, maybe they're making some Zelda or Mario or Metroid WiiWare games, and if that's true, that's huge.
Are they supposed to be releasing Kid Icarus?
Yeah, I mean, we've all heard that.
IGN has all but confirmed a Factor 5 developed Kid Icarus, and if that doesn't materialize, I think everyone is going to be really shocked.
Isn't that exciting if it does?
But they have some whole new game based on it, and they're basically just using the brand familiarity for it, but they have like a game that could stand on its own no matter what you call it.
That's true.
They just reintroduced a whole nother generation to that character with Super Smash Bros. So
Nintendo could win a lot of points if they tease a Zelda, like a new Wii Zelda. That could get all the fanboys, like that and Kid Icarus alone could be enough to like assuage their fears and make them realize, okay, Nintendo still cares about me. We're poo-pooing the Wii's third party, but the Sin City looking game, what's that thing called? Mad World, that could end up being like the hardcore Wii game of the show.
like I'm so excited about that game. It looks really good. They're gonna do another Wii Sports?
I know. I wish they'd do another Wii Sports. That'd be huge. That'd be huge. Wii Sports 2 would be huge.
Everybody's looking for another Wii Sports.
Or another Wii Play. I mean, Wii Play sold like 5 million copies. Wii hardware, okay, we haven't talked about this. I think we're going to see multiple colors, finally, of Wii controllers. And, hopefully, a storage solution for WiiWare. Like,
I just want them to announce that they're fixing the problem of Wii supply. And the fact that you still cannot get them in very easily in stores.
Yes, are we gonna start hearing anything about like the follow-up to the DS at this point, or is it too soon still?
I don't think so. But I do think we'll see some big sequels finally. I think we'll see New Super Mario Bros. 2. I think we might even see more Nintendogs finally. I think there'll be a lot of really good Nintendo DS software at E3. I think that's nothing to worry about there. But once again, Wii is the problem. Like, what Wii games are going to be there? What third-party Wii games are going to be worth a shit there? I think we're going to walk away again as hardcore gamers disappointed by the Wii offerings.
You guys feel like E3 is for you, but it's about the state of the video game industry, and so I don't think it's...
They'll have the most coverage in the evening news coming out of E3, I'm sure, because they'll have something that'll immediately be like mainstream attention.
Yeah, it's going to be on the Today Show like days later. They're going to be showing footage of it.
I mean, I personally can be excited by both types of games. Like, if they have some really cool new family-centric Wii game, I could be just as excited for that in a different way than I would be for, like, you know, another Zelda or something like that.
Don't forget, like, that's good for gamers. That's my prediction.
So we're in the visual design department at Guerrilla Games. The team here is responsible for all of the architecture, the character design, the weapon design, design of the environments, etc.
The first thing I'd like to show you is the intruder. You've probably seen it in some of the trailers. It's the flying machine that drops the guys in. Back when we started designing this thing, we thought, what can we do with this? Make it interesting other than all of the other sci-fi vehicles. So we thought we'd just grab a pickup truck and a helicopter and try to combine that into something new and functional. We're always trying to create stuff that kind of looks as if it could work in reality. So combining stuff out of these two elements, we created these sketches, basic ideas, which evolved using landing gears and lots of mechanical stuff into this idea. It's basically a cargo carrier, has the troops on top. We had the guys in the mocap shoots jump off this thing, but apparently it was a bit too high. They were jumping off 4 meters. We kind of put some mechanics in so the thing could lower and actually drop the guys on the floor. And then started detailing more, adding more and more detail, and thus adding to the realism of the thing.
How much time went into developing just this one vehicle?
Quite a bit of time. There's a design process, and then there's the feedback on the molding and the texture. I think there's a couple of weeks for the design, and then whilst molding, there's still more information needed on bits and bolts and material expression. And then it looks something like this in the game. This is an example of one of the levels we worked on. Gameplay space, and we try to map that on things like this. Google Earth spots different cities. I think there's bits of Rome in there, bits of Baghdad, Lima, and Hong Kong, and lots of other cities. Just trying to use real streets, real places, so you get this kind of sense of real city. And once we're happy with that, we choke in the player route, the different areas gameplay had intended, and we create this grey mock-up. And then we start building the architecture to fill up these grey boxes. We develop all these different types of architecture and try to create our own architecture, showing as well as what the hostile weather does to the architecture. Well, there's a lot of layer on layer on layer, things being torn down, people trying to rebuild it. So there's a lot of weathering in the textures and in the construction of the buildings itself.
Guns. First thing we did this time was, as soon as we had like a short list of all the weapons that we were expecting to put in a game, so I made a big collection of all kinds of guns, and then we went out to the shooting range, took them apart, and got like high-speed camera, that kind of thing. So we made all the details on it, and made loads of high-quality photos. This is Killzone 1 August assault rifle. The first things we wanted to do is actually up-res our Killzone 1 guns, like the guns we really want to keep, that were like distinguished. Beef them up, make them look better, now get them up to the next gen quality. We decided to put some iron sights in it, which we didn't have in the first one. Then I think next step was to use the secondary fire. So this is the shotgun version, and we had to take it off, and we still had to keep the same grip, so we started researching different shapes. These were the two final candidates. This became too simple in first person, so we ended up with that one, which is now the gun we have in our game.
Atari 2600 being played on an HD TV. That's wrong.
This is our team dedicated to cutscenes, so they're in charge of telling the story of the game. And Jonathan here is cutscene director.
So we're actually approaching the cutscenes for the game pretty similar to actual movies. We're starting off with an idea. We have a script writer on board. We then proceed to make storyboards, and from those storyboards we make a really rough 3D representation of those storyboards, so the little puppets just sliding down the screen.
And when that's approved, we're going on to motion capture, which is used for almost any game at the moment in films. So that process, we use a pretty advanced form of motion capture. We use not only the body movement, but also the fingers and the facial. We also capture the final voice instead of dubbing it. We're basically treating it like an actual film set. And then it all gets implemented back into the game engine. So it's actually the real in-game engine that runs the cutscenes this time. It's not pre-rendered, which is great because it really sticks to the quality of the actual game. It stays exactly the same in the cutscenes. I think there's only a few people, because basically this process was tried and tested with both Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, things like Gollum and that sort of. So we're using exactly the same technique at the moment. There's only
almost like you're making a film.
Yeah.
CG film or something.
There's a very few companies that actually use this at the moment. Heavenly Sword was one who did it exactly the same way with Andy Serkis. And it's because it's so high end, it's so kind of difficult to manage and really expensive. There's only a handful of guys starting and doing it. But I think you'll be seeing this more in the future.
Misha Baas is another one of our senior artists.
Hi.
Recently been working on vehicles mostly.
I am indeed.
What can you show us, Misha?
Generally, we start off with basically initial concepts that are there and put in the game, tested, the rig, tested for gameplay, and basically, it was deemed that the actual concept was a bit too boxy, so we wanted something a little bit more exciting. And we came up with a sort of a rough concept shape like this, and kind of sort of start looking for the best shape and do an interpretation, and we end up with something like this. These are some of our vehicles side by side. Helghast, ISA. Helghast is a bit more sort of dark and shiny, much more aggressive in a way. You get these big blades in the front, which is a very strong element in the concept. We get more detailed sketches when we're happy with the design, and this is what we then. So together with help from the guys downstairs, we basically go over every detail and we try to give it this sort of functionality that's required for Killzone. Everything we do has to be sort of believable and has to kind of strike a bell with current modern military technology.
Who made that? That looks like a Miguel design there, yeah?
Probably it's fan art, I think.
That was your fan art?
Yeah, it's
fan art.
Yes. Somebody sent us an email with this image.
It's not a teaser for Killzone babies.
Right now, Sony is doing really well this year.
They have an opportunity to do a lot and to tease a lot to really get people excited, but I don't know that
and they have a lot that's already announced.
Home and Little Big Planet's actually coming out if they can people have been excited about that for 2 years, but it's kind of dying down because it's been so long. So they actually give us firm dates on both and show us new functionality from both. That alone is pretty exciting.
Not only do they have a really, really strong lineup for the rest of this year, Resistance and SOCOM and all that, but they also have the potential to tease us with God of War 3, the new Eco game, stuff like that. I mean, if they did that, that would be a big show.
3 will get a trailer, is my guess, and Uncharted 2.
It already leaked that they're going to show God of War 3 in some fashion. But I don't think it's going to. They probably won't show a live gameplay demonstration. It'll probably just be a teaser trailer, but that'll be huge. It's in the new Eco game. They've been sitting on that for a while. That's either going to be here or TGS. We know we're seeing it this year. Games like White Knight Story Chronicle, we haven't seen that since TGS. It's going to be big. The Ratchet & Clank downloadable sequel. That's gonna be there.
I got really excited last year when they started showing, like, it was the first time we really saw much of Echochrome. They brought Patapon back out. Because there seems to be a lot of critical praise for their tinier games, maybe we'll see some new tiny games that we haven't seen before.
That game company's doing Flower, that kind of stuff.
And that stuff's still sold out, like in Flower and Aqua in Africa. I mean, it's coming to Japan now.
The other thing they can pull out at their press conference are the third-party exclusives from Japan. Like, if there's a new Final Fantasy 13 trailer there, that's huge. Or say Kojima Productions decides to announce something, that'd be a big deal. PSP, people kind of forget about that, but it's doing really well in Japan. It's outselling Wii for the year, so I think we're going to see a lot of Japanese PSP games at E3.
Like Monster Hunter XX2.
You know, people are talking about Devil May Cry might be there. You know, Dissidia's looking really good. I think there'll be some surprise announcements for PSP. Also, the long-rumored Gran Turismo PSP coming back.
That.
I hear it's there. I hear it's at E3.
I know Sony has one big first-party game that they're revealing at E3. So,
really?
Yeah. So we'll see. So how about Sony's Waggle controller too? Are they going to do that there?
You know, I'm starting to wonder if that is actually first-party or if it's a third-party controller. We don't really know. I think something's going to be there.
I also don't know if they need it right now because they do have a lot of momentum and they have all those other things we were just talking about. So it may be good to like see how the mainstream reaction goes over with Microsoft's one if they have a Waggle thing, and then they can kind of gauge when they should talk about it, where they should go with it.
What about all the third-party stuff that comes out for Wii right now? What if then developers are able to make it multi-platform, the same exact? They can count on the controller being the same.
I don't imagine the controllers would be that similar enough that they could just do that and kind of shoehorn it into all three. I think they would kind of have different focuses.
But it would probably be reasonable to try in ways that it's not right now. The hardcore mentality of like expecting something. It's like you get to a bookstore, right? And eventually it gets to the point where there's kids' crayon books on one side, there might be books on science on the other, there might be shitty sci-fi, there might be high-quality sci-fi. And at the end of the day, it's like no one sweats about like, well, I don't want this on my system. I don't want, I don't want this in my bookstore. It's just, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I just don't
totally
care. It's like the wider the range, no one's going to force us to buy anything we don't like.
The quality suffers when something, like a lot of games come out on Wii, PS2, and PSP, and because they're not dedicated to one, the quality suffers like on all three. And I think that would be even more the case because it would come out on those three and then motion control on the other two systems. So I think the wider you spread it, then it's like it's just not going to be as good.
Right, but that's already happening with most games right now that are non. So if you imagine Call of Duty or something, there's going to be a slightly different PS3 version and 360 version, and then chances are they're going to try to make a Wii version too. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem that much different. If we're able to deal with the differences and make like Medal of Honor and then have it come out on Wii and 360, it doesn't seem like it'll be that much different to add like some visual effects to a game like Boom Blocks or something and have it. What if Boom Blocks, they hedged their bet and it was available on all three platforms?
I think Boom Blocks will come out for 360 this fall, actually. I think it will. Why not?
If they got a controller for it.
They got the controller for it. Another thing at E3 are delays. There will be a lot of high-profile delays of games you think are coming out this year that aren't. So that's one to watch too. That always happens.
I'm going to say Banjo's not this year, and I still don't think Fallout is. I know I got some disagreement, but those are my two. I'm saying next year.
I say Call of Duty next year.
I've seen that Borderlands is listed as this year, and I'd be surprised considering
they haven't finished Brothers in Arms.
How are we going to feel going out of this E3 in general? It's like it seems like the format is probably the worst ever but we don't really know yet.
Is a lot of the stuff that would have ordinarily been shown at E3 now going to be shown at Comic-Con and PAX and Leipzig and TGS?
Yeah. It seems a little bit, but then you look at the bigger stuff there, and it's also going to be E3. They're just showing different things.
I think it's all in the press conferences, like just the fact that they all have one big one. They missed the time to put stuff out.
This year, it's a really big year for both Microsoft and Nintendo, and basically, because if you think about what we know of their lineups, we don't know a whole lot past a certain point. Especially with Nintendo, we almost know nothing. And Microsoft, it's kind of like, well, where's this thing going to go from here? And I think when we walk out of those press conferences, we're going to have a good idea of that.